Okay, do you have that link up yet?
Yeah, I think I got it. Should be good for an hour or so until the satellite loses line of sight.
Excellent. I owe you one, Patrick. See you in a bit. Hello, Florida Enclave. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, Edmonton.
Oh, wow. It's working. The satellite link is actually working this time. I'm talking to Dr. Bones and Nurse Amy. How goes it, Florida?
Things are bad in Center City, man. The place is lousy with raiders, man. I would say that it's more like the gunfight at the OK Corral than anything else out here. But you know what? Other than being dirty, tired, and hungry, we're awesome, right?
Absolutely. Yay.
That's good. That's really good. Are the rumors true? You have no Zeds down there? Really?
Nope. Not a one.
Shocking.
No one wants our brains. They just want the rest of our stuff.
Weird. Our Zeds are just defrosting all over the place after the winter. And more Zeds and Raiders are coming up from Washington State and Montana every day. Must be a regional thing. Or you got a different version of the super flu. Or maybe the alligators. Zombie alligators? No.
How can you tell with alligators? They look and act like zombies when they're alive. but you know what? Viruses mutate. Looks like you got the Z strain out there. And I'm not sure who's luckier.
Yeah, you had the 95% casualties, though.
No, closer to 98, man. You get sick, you die.
It.
End of story.
It's over, man.
Yeah, well, your lack of zombies gives your apocalypse a less bitey flavor for sure. But our local problems are practically the same. Oh, yeah, you're kind of famous up here. Some of our locals are using your book up here, Doom and Bloom, the Survival Medicine Handbook. They picked it up on Amazon.ca before things got interesting.
Well, you know what I say to that? Say what? Well, no, actually, the Survival Medicine Handbook was meant for scenarios just like this, where modern medicine's gone the way of the dinosaur due to a major disaster. So,
Yeah.
I had just hoped that we never reach the point that we have to rely on it to survive.
Yeah, that section on animal bites is really appreciated up here, although we're using the term animal pretty loosely up here.
Well, we probably need to revise the definition of animal a little. There are a lot more animals around than either human or recently human than you can imagine.
Yeah.
Our website is doomandbloom.net. You'll find over 500 posts on medical preparedness there. Our book's just one of the things we offer to help people survive when everything else fails. So we have DVD education. We're on medical supplies and wound care, suturing, how to be an effective medic in times of trouble. We also have an entire line of disaster medical kits put together by Amy at store.doomandbloom.net.
Yeah, now you're producing a board game, Doom and Bloom Survival. Who had that idea? Why produce a board game about the aftermath of a pandemic?
Well, we saw that most people interested in survival were the only ones in their family who cared about it. And no amount of cramming preparedness down the throat of other people seems to get them interested. So we wanted a way to get the whole family on the same page for once. And a board game seemed to me to be, and to Amy, to be just the ticket. You'll learn survival basics while having fun, and without thinking, you're learning it all, which is the key. Post-pandemic was a perfect scenario for us. A few lucky survivors left. I put lucky in quotation marks here. And a world filled with resources left by those who didn't make it, but populated by others who did but want to take you down. And it's what would really go down if it happened. Remember that there's an Ebola outbreak right now in West Africa, and it's got a 90% death rate, and it's crossing borders. The epidemic of 1918 had a 2% death rate and killed 50 to 100 million people. What would happen if some air traveler spreads Ebola to the rest of the world?
True again, I respect ancient killers. Mm-hmm. So, I've read the rules to your game. Don't ask how I found a copy around here.
Oh, I have my spies. Actually, it's on the website at survivalboardgame.com.
Yeah, when the internet is working, sometimes it's working. From what I understand, your board game is a simulation where competing teams of survivors from a central city range outwards over terrain. They avoid or engage raiders, collect supplies, and scout a mystery town at the edge of the board. They then return to Center City to collect their families and win the game, if they have finished their scouting and have the resources they need to create a new enclave. Is that about right?
Well, if they can do it before anyone else does. But it's more than that. Oftentimes you'll be tempted to use those resources to gain an edge in an encounter. You have to decide whether to use the resources you have to get big rewards, sometimes at a risk, while knowing that you have to eventually accumulate them to win the game. And one of the big proofs of our designing genius is that we put Center City right in the middle of the game board. And you know what? We had spent so many hours, honey, right? Wondering about where we were going to put Center City.
I had that idea all along.
Oh.
You goof.
Yeah, I do love the map, how it's different in all directions. And the river movement mechanics are actually kind of elegant. Even if the rivers in your game are dangerous, swarming with raiders. I have a buddy, okay, pirate friend on the North Saskatchewan River running supplies back and forth. He's negotiated a deal with the local raiders and they stay out of his way. Well, the deal is that they stay out of his way or they get shredded with .50 caliber and mortar fire.
Pirate? You mean like our pirate? Seriously?
Then I thought, who gives a damn if all the jobs are gone? I'm gonna be a pirate on the river Saskatchewan. 'Cause it's a heave-ho, hi-ho, coming down the plains, stealing wheat and barley and all the other grain.
Yeah. He and his crews even dress appropriately, vocabulary too. I personally think he's gone nuts or he's having way too much fun. He used to be a government worker.
Well, that explains a lot.
Yeah. So, So there's no elimination of characters in your game. Essentially, you're playing leaders of groups, right?
Yeah, you know, we wanted to make sure that people weren't knocked out of the game. We wanted to keep them interested. There's nothing worse than to die in a game and just watch everybody else play for 2 hours. Some of the events that we have, by the way, allow people that are far behind to catch up and get back in contention. So everybody always seems to be right there at the
And
end.
have hope.
That's right.
That's a key to it, that you have hope that you will survive no matter what comes your way.
Yeah, hope is important. You do roll a 3-sider to move, but I wouldn't call this a roll and move game. It just simulates the uncertainty of overland travel. You just can't tell how far you're going to get in a day. And you just have to adjust to the situation to present it on the fly. Adapt. Also, you can stick to the safe areas of the map to avoid raiders, but that would slow you down. This is a hidden press your luck mechanic, isn't it? A race.
No, it's not just a race. It's a game of exploration with a lot of tough decisions along the way. So there's decision making, there's strategy, there's different routes that you can take, and depending on the type of player you are, you can try to stay in free areas, or you can confront the raiders directly. I mean, their areas are filled with resources because of what they've taken from surrounding
But remember,
hexes.
with high risk could come high reward or lots
penalties.
of risk.
Yes,
Exactly.
that's right.
No, that's exactly right. You shouldn't be surprised when you go into their territory and you get shredded. If you're not prepared.
True that.
All right. Is this game supposed to be educational, especially for those with survivalist or prepper lifestyles, or can anyone play?
You know, we originally planned to market the game to our core audience, which are the millions of people in the preparedness community all over the world. This game is EU friendly. This game was also meant to get, as I said previously, entire families together and teach the tough decisions needed to survive what's a real possible disaster scenario.
Yeah.
The amazing thing was that during playtesting, we found appeal among regular board gamers. This surprised us, but we are just so excited that it actually does. The game's simple enough for anyone to play, but there's levels of strategy, especially with regards to the timing of using your bonus cards.
Yeah. I noticed that you can defend yourself against raider attacks, but against other players you can only burn precious resources to stymie them. While fun, you're hamstringing yourself to slow down a winner. Is this a design choice? Showing the futility of wasting precious resources against your fellow players, especially since you need these things to win? Are you trying to teach something?
You know, following our primary focus, we designed the game so that there were benefits to having more assets than you need just to win. Instead of just getting the exact number, we want people to get more, just like real preppers would do in real life.
Yeah, you're rewarded for having enough.
That's true. Now, we decided to leave PvP mechanics for our Raiders expansion. Right now, we're tooling that. because it looks like our Kickstarter is going places. But in the Raiders expansion to Doom and Boom Survival, you can choose to play a Raider as well as a survivor, and there'll be all sorts of combat between players in that circumstance.
Okay, and I noticed that full-on combat between players in the base game is impossible. It's only really against Raider events for now.
Well, the word base game is the key there. This is a base game to introduce people to real survival issues.
Right.
But our expansions will include not only PvP, but also territory expansion.
Oh, now you're talking. I love expansions. Now, you do know that 95% of zombie games are combat-orientated.
Yeah, that's what some people say when they see the game. What? No zombies? Oh my gosh. Why is that so important? Because they're so cute and lovable that kittens watch videos of them?
Mm.
I mean, there's more to survival than combat.
Yeah.
You know that most deaths in survival scenarios are actually going to be from dysentery due to contaminated water supplies. So we had to have more than just surviving an attack. You had to do more.
Yeah. You know, to be honest, most of the time the zombies just kind of drop into the background of these games and movies anyway, and my life. Your game is giving me wicked deja vu. I'm in charge of a supply bunker south of Edmonton. We have a big enclave in Red Deer that ranges into Edmonton for supplies. But carefully, because of the armed survivors fortifying themselves in town and trying to avoid raiders with more guns and brain cells.
Affirmative. Welcome to our world.
Yeah, the West Edmonton Mall enclave is pretty friendly. They even have a dentist and a veterinarian, and the Canadian military holds downtown on the bridges but are stretched too thin to help. Trading ammo for medicine, medical treatment for food, convincing skilled survivors to join your group. Oh, this is sounding very familiar.
Oh, hang in there, bro. Surviving's better than the alternative, which is not surviving.
I agree. Anyway, back to your game.
Okay.
What board games would you say influenced your design? Who did you get to design the game, and what were his or her influences?
Well, the game was designed by us personally.
Yep.
Okay.
Being longtime board gamers, we felt that we could put together something that would be fun, but the challenge was to avoid it becoming too dark so the whole family could play. We played games like Walking Dead, but ended up depressed. It is a depressing game. We love European-style games because of the freedom of movement, and we thought this was one of the ways that we could make each game different.
Yeah, the game does feel like a basic role-playing style game as well as being kind of Euro-ish. You have a gaming background?
Well, we play a lot of Magic the Gathering online currently, and of course, MMORPGs dating all the way back to Ultima Online in the 90s.
Oh, Ultima Online.
Yeah.
How many hours I played Ultima Online?
Killing dragons, killing dragons.
Yes.
Board games, the Game of Thrones game, Settlers, Carcassonne, Risk, you name it, we played it.
And of course, all the classics.
Yes, of course.
Definitely. And so, yeah, no zombies in your game.
No, but after a while, survivors tend to look more and more like zombies unless there's a survival dry cleaner nearby.
Yeah, and if they haven't eaten for a while.
True that.
Yeah, weird, but then again, zombies are just an obstacle to resources you need anyway. I have the same problem. You probably have the same problems down there that I do, except it gets down to minus 40, for 4 months in winter.
No, well, better than 90 degrees and 100% humidity for 9 months like we have down here. You could at least build snowmen.
Yeah, I know what that's like. I used to live in Japan.
Well,
Yeah, snowmen. Yeah, you'd be surprised how much a snowman draws fire.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Well, we just last night brought our game to the local game shop. We had a number of casual gamers play it. Some of them became backers the next day, so we feel pretty strongly that just about anybody can play the game and find it interesting.
Oh yeah, the art you have lined up is amazing. You have the artist that did Wasabi and Pandemic. I have those games in here somewhere.
We have two awesome creative talents in Josh Chappelle, our graphic designer of Pandemic, and Kurt Miller of Axis and Allies, other great games. Gosh, both of these guys are award winners, and we wanted to make sure we had a super quality game that had visually compelling art.
And they listened to us.
That's right.
We had a vision, and through drawings and descriptions, they were able to take our visions and make them come to life.
Right, and we'll be featuring signed art prints by Kurt Miller in some of our reward tiers, so check them out. We have them on the Kickstarter site.
Good. Well,
Kickstarter site.
Kickstarter site, yeah.
What did I say? Kickboarder. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to find a copy of it as soon as it's produced. It sounds like fun. It's something I'd like to try.
Awesome.
Okay, well, I'd better sign off right here. Zcat Zombie Apocalypse or not, stay safe, okay?
You too.
Absolutely. You be safe, Zcat.
Now, we'll be heading south to a town called Perseverance. We've heard they've got resources down there, and they could use a doctor and nurse like us.
Okay. Joe and Amy Alton are the authors of the #1 Amazon bestseller, The Survival Medicine Handbook. See their articles in Backwoods Home, Survival Quarterly, and other great magazines. For over 400 articles on medical preparedness, go to their website at www.doomandbloom.net.
Yeah, I think I got it. Should be good for an hour or so until the satellite loses line of sight.
Yeah, I have one more question for you. If someone were to break their femur, how long would would this person take to recover, theoretically?
Breaking your femur is serious stuff there, bud.
Mm-hmm.
I would say that it'd take a good 12 weeks to be able to really function appropriately. How long ago did it happen?
4 weeks.
And?
Yeah, I got a slight limp.
Oh boy.
Okay. So I'm just going to avoid the idea that I healed twice as fast. Thanks for your help, though.
Hang in there, bro.
Yeah. Thanks.
Oh, man.